Welcome to 6th Street on a Saturday morning, a drizzly, foggy Saturday morning, headed to, I don't know where I'm headed yet, to one of my favorite bars probably, down here on 6th Street. Never really know where I'm headed to, just gonna pick a spot that's open and sit down and start killing the hangover that's haunting me from last night. And it is very sluggish typically at around this time in the morning, but we've got a little bit more going on than usual. There is a bus here, it's a tour bus that they run through town and actually goes in the water, so I'm told. It's the Austin Duck Adventure. So they're taking these tourists who are in Austin around the city, and they're talking about these buildings which are very old. In fact, if you have been coming here a lot at night or really any time, you don't really realize how old they are. These buildings are the oldest buildings west of the Mississippi River. There are people that came here in the 1800s and built them. And when you are in one of these spots partying, that would be the furthest fact from your mind. So kind of interesting. One of the bars here, Weedy Riley's, had every brick brought over from, I want to say, Scotland or Ireland, and rebuilt a pub, or built a pub from those bricks that they had brought overseas. So it's pretty cool in that way. Of course, over here we've got like these little t-shirts and caps and all the touristy type things. And the thing about 6th Street, most people say, and they're right, is that it's largely for tourists and students. I mean, if you think about it, I grew up an hour and a half from New Orleans, and in New Orleans, nobody goes, I mean, very few people do Mardi Gras, the natives I'm talking about. They almost never, you can never find them in the quarter, and it's the same type thing with 6th Street, people just don't go. I know that at least when I first moved here, kind of the young professionals would go to West 6th Street, or really to, they would go to the warehouse district. And because you're kind of better, you're coming up in the world or whatever, and you don't want to be, still hanging out in the college spots because coming up on things. So, sorry man, don't have anything on me. Yeah, so that's just the way that you kind of come up here. But I find 6th Street to be a lot cooler just because it's more ethnic. I mean, Austin's probably one of the whitest cities that I've ever lived in, easily. And I like to have like different variety as far as different cultures interacting, whether it's African American, Hispanic. And it's just because it's just more entertaining and you just get so much more out of the interactions. Yeah, it's a little bit grittier, but it's also a bit more real. So I'm gonna go down here hopefully and mix it up with a friend of mine, sit down and just kind of see where the afternoon takes me.